What's up guys, the Gjallarhorn is back in Destiny 2 finally, and in today's video we're going to be going over how to get the weapon and then going over all of its perks and things like that and seeing how good it is and does it live up to the Destiny 1 hype. So let's go and begin with the questline. To start off, you go to Gjallarhorn in the Cosmodrome, which will have the Wolfpack style questline, which will reward the Gjallarhorn, and the first step will be doing the new dungeon, which is from the loot cave in the Cosmodrome. And I'm going to try to not spoil anything from the dungeon because it is really cool to experience it for the first time for yourself. But once you beat it, you'll get the next step, which you'll have to go back to the Cosmodrome vendor. Once there, he'll tell you to do something else. The next step of the questline, which is defeating powerful fallen in the Cosmodrome to collect Wolfpack rounds. And the way I did that was go to the Lost Sector you always see me in, which is the one in the Divide. There are roughly 7 or 8 powerfuls throughout the Lost Sector. After you do that, you have to go visit Banshee in the tower. After you talk to him, he'll send you back to that exact same Lost Sector I was speaking of, the one in the Divide. All you have to do is do that, kill the Lost Sector boss, and loot the chest. And you're practically done at that point. All that is left is you have to go under the vendor in the Cosmodrome, that useless room that's been there forever. But now that is where you pick up the parts of the Gjallarhorn, take it to Gjallarhorn, and then you have it. So pretty straightforward quest. The bulk of it is doing the new dungeon, which is really cool. So looking at the perks of Gjallarhorn in Destiny 2, the first exotic perk, Wolfpack rounds. Rounds fired split into tracking cluster missiles upon detonation, so same as D1. But now we have Pack Hunter. Gain increased handling and reload speed when standing near allies. Firing this weapon also grants Wolfpack rounds to nearby allies wielding non-exotic rocket launchers. So that sounds extremely interesting. So first is looking at the weapon. First off, it has tracking just like D1, and when it hits a target, it will then shoot off Wolfpack rounds, which are more or less tracking cluster bombs if you've never played Destiny 1, that do way more damage and are extremely strong. So looking at that again, trying to see how much damage I do. As you see, it almost takes them to the second health bar, but it's really hard to see all the different numbers. So what I did instead was track how many different Wolfpack rounds there are, and there are 6 in this game. Then if we go back to the footage, it seems for every Wolfpack that hits them, there is 2 of that smaller 2,000 number than 1 of the higher 5,000 number. So overall, the rocket of Gjallarhorn does over 71,000 damage, while the Wolfpack rounds will add another 60,000. And if you look at the health bar, that adds up exactly for a total of 131,000 per rocket. Now looking at the rate of fire of the weapon to get the DPS, the rockets took just over 2 seconds. Then I'm also going to do 4 like I usually do with rockets 2 and 4. And 2 took 6.5 seconds, which means the DPS for 2 will be 122,000, which is extremely high burst, up there with the highest things in the entire game. And over 4, the sustain is still really good at 81.5 thousand. So those numbers are right in there with some of the best rockets in the game. For example, overflow rockets or even Deathbringer. This weapon also holds 7 rockets with double reserves that goes to 9, which means somewhere between 900,000 and almost 1.2 million total damage output, which once again is very strong. So the rocket itself is extremely strong, right up there with some of the best ones in the game, but now we also have Pack Hunter, which will make it so people in your fire team using a legendary rocket launcher will also get Wolfpack rounds on top of whatever rocket perks they have. So if we look at how that works, if Ember shoots a Gjallarhorn next to me, I get Pack Hunter for almost 15 seconds, and that will make it so every rocket I shoot will have Wolfpack rounds upon explosion. As you saw with lasting impression on the rocket, it is when the rocket itself explodes and not when the rocket hits for the first time. So in theory, this should just raise every single rocket's damage by that 60,000 number, which was the total damage of Wolfpack rounds. But as you see, the numbers are actually a little bit higher. So I'm definitely gonna make another video testing that with all the regular rockets in the game and all their different perks and see what are the best combinations. But back to Gjallarhorn for now, this also has exotic slot that we can see. And if you go to the triumphs, it says acquired in the new dungeon. So I'm not sure while I'm recording this video if someone already figured out how to get it, but we can already see in the API what it does. More wolves, increased magazine size, which I'm assuming will make it a 2 mag, which will already make it even that much better for DPS and make it honestly one of the best burst DPS weapons in the history of the game, because it already is at 122,000 with a reload for 2 rockets. If you remove that reload, it might be touching nearly 200,000, which will be obviously extremely strong. Then the final part of the catalyst, final blows with Wolfpack rounds spawn a faster, more powerful missile at the target's location. So what that will do is make it so there will be like a chain reaction of Wolfpack rounds for Ackler. Every single time one of the individual Wolfpack rounds will get a kill, it'll spawn out a new one, and I think that'll just chain forever So you take this rocket, which is already kind of like a Deathbringer with tracking built in, and already extremely strong for Aclear, and it'll just get even better. So yeah, the Gjallarhorn D2 is the real deal. It looks like it's going to be one of the best Aclear weapons with the Catalyst, with how that's just on chain react and just keep killing things and sending out more and more Wolfpack rounds. Then for DPS, it's already up there with some of the best options in the game with the 2 and 4 mag numbers, but then with the Catalyst giving it an increased mag size, more than likely 2, that'll just make its DPS even that much higher. Then on top of that, it'll make Legendary Rockets with your Fireteam members get an increase of over 60,000 damage per rocket on top of, you know, whatever rocket DPS perk of choice. I mean, this thing is absolutely insane. So there'll definitely be a lot of follow-up videos this week going over the Catalyst once that is found out how to get it. Probably going over how this combos with different Legendary Rockets in the game. Then I'll probably eventually make a build for it, then also do it for strike bosses at some point. There's definitely going to be a lot of follow-up Gjallarhorn content, so definitely stay tuned for that. If you don't have the 30th anniversary pack yet, and you plan on Steam and you're looking to get it after watching some of this gameplay, you can do so on my Nexus store, which will be pinned in the description and comments. Anyways, I think that's going to be it for the video. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.